In part 3, we broke down the Doritos effect, how engineered flavor creates compulsive eating by overwhelming your brain, fading quickly, and pushing you into a cycle of mindless snacking. But now we're shifting into the more dangerous territory. Because beyond the psychological addiction tricks, there are actual ingredients inside these foods that create long-term, life-threatening damage. And the very first one, the one many experts call the most dangerous ingredient ever added to the human food supply, is trans fats. You may have heard of them. You may have seen 0 grams trans fat on a label. But the story is far more complicated and far more disturbing than most people realize. Today, we're going to expose what trans fats really are, why they are still in our foods, how they destroy your liver, and why combining them with refined carbohydrates turns them into a metabolic time bomb. Let's get into it. What trans fats actually are. Trans fats are not natural. They are not found in whole foods. Your body has no biological use for them. They are created through a chemical process called hydrogenation, where cheap oils are blasted with hydrogen gas to make them solid at room temperature. Why would companies do this? 3 reasons. Shelf life. Trans fats do not spoil texture. They give foods a crispy, creamy, flaky feel. Cost. They're cheaper than using real butter or healthy fats from a business standpoint. Trans fats are perfect. From a health standpoint, they're catastrophic. This ingredient became so harmful, so dangerous, and caused so many deaths that many countries eventually tried to ban it. But here's the shocking part. Even today, trans fats are still hiding in common foods, especially in junk food and fast food. Let's talk about why that's a major problem. These fats aggressively cause inflammation, block arteries, and lead to heart disease. They're a silent killer. Why trans fats are deadly. Most unhealthy food ingredients damage your body slowly. Trans fats do it aggressively. Here's what they're known to cause. Severe inflammation, blocked arteries, heart disease, insulin resistance, rapid liver damage, fatty liver disease, increased risk of stroke, but the liver takes the hardest hit. Your liver is like your body's filtration system. It deals with fats, toxins, chemicals, and sugar. But trans fats act like poison for the liver. They harden cell membranes, interfere with fat metabolism, create massive oxidative stress, trigger chronic inflammation, add to fat accumulation inside liver cells over time. This leads to fatty liver disease, which now affects millions of people, even people who don't drink alcohol. This is one of the most quietly growing health epidemics of our time. And here's the part that connects back to the previous episodes. When your liver becomes inflamed or fatty, your cravings become even more intense. Your body loses its ability to regulate hunger properly. The very ingredient that is in junk food makes you want even more junk food. It's a vicious cycle. Trans fats also damage your liver, leading to fatty liver disease and increasing the risk of stroke. Your liver takes the hardest hit. But wait, aren't trans fats banned? You may have seen headlines saying that trans fats were banned. You might even think you're safe because labels say 0 grams trans fat. But this is where the food industry's loopholes come in. In many countries, including the United States, manufacturers are allowed to put 0 grams trans fat on the label as long as each serving contains less than 0.5 grams. Think about that for a second. If a bag of cookies contains 6 servings and each serving legally contains 0 grams, but actually has 0.49 grams. You could be consuming 3 grams of trans fats without even knowing it. And the American Heart Association says the safe amount of trans fat is 0 grams per day. Not 3 grams, not 1 gram, not half a gram, 0. So yes, trans fats are still very much present, especially in microwave popcorn, frozen foods, crackers, margarine, donuts, fried foods, instant noodles, coffee creamers, packaged pastries, fast food fries. The ban reduced trans fats, but it didn't eliminate them. And what makes them even more dangerous is what comes next. The deadliest combination. Trans fats plus refined carbs. Eating trans fats alone is dangerous. But eating them with refined carbohydrates, the way most people do, creates a perfect storm inside the body. Why? Because refined carbs spike your blood sugar, trigger insulin release, cause rapid fat storage, add stress to your liver, increase inflammation, combine that with trans fats, which already inflame the liver, and you get a metabolic disaster. This combination raises LDL cholesterol, lowers HDL cholesterol, increases triglycerides, creates stubborn belly fat, blocks insulin receptors, leads to diabetes, damages liver cells, hardens arteries. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire. Your body simply cannot handle that level of metabolic attack. Let me give you a real-life scenario. The fast food trap. Imagine a typical fast food meal. Fried chicken or fried fish, a large order of fries, a soft drink, maybe dessert the chicken and fries. Cooked in oils that often contain residual trans fats. The breading, packed with refined carbs. The soda, straight sugar. The dessert, sugar plus refined flour plus oils. This combination hits your liver, blood sugar, and arteries all at once. Millions of people eat this multiple times a week, not because they're careless, but because the food is engineered to be addictive, cheap, convenient, and emotionally comforting. But inside the body, every one of those meals adds more liver fat, more artery damage, more inflammation, more hunger signals, more metabolic confusion. It's a slow-motion disaster hidden behind flavor and convenience. The slow poisoning effect, the scariest part, isn't how fast trans fats harm you. It's how quietly they do it. Most people don't feel anything right away. There's no stomach pain, no nausea, no obvious reaction. It's silent. But over months and years, the liver becomes fatty, arteries harden, inflammation grows, insulin resistance increases, energy levels drop, brain fog gets worse, weight becomes harder to control, cravings become stronger, chronic disease begins brewing. And then one day, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, or liver issues seem to appear out of nowhere. But they didn't come out of nowhere. They came from years of trans fats mixed with sugar and refined carbs. This is why understanding this ingredient is so crucial. It's not just unhealthy, it's engineered harm. So let's recap. Trans fats are artificial, toxic fats created through industrial processing. They damage the liver, arteries, and metabolism. They are still hiding in many common foods. Labels can legally lie using loopholes. And when combined with refined carbohydrates, their damage multiplies. The takeaway is simple. Trans fats are not just unhealthy. They are one of the most dangerous ingredients ever created for human consumption. And in the part 5 of this series, we're going to break down ingredient number 2, high fructose corn syrup, the liver-destroying sugar that has turned into the hidden fuel behind obesity, fatty liver disease, and insulin resistance worldwide. Stay with me. This is the part most people desperately need to hear.